So welcome everyone. We're gonna head into class 4 of 8. I hope you all been having as much fun as I have, because I really have, and just enjoying everybody and their comments. It's a beautiful get together, and it's nice to hold hands and everybody learn together. It's a beautiful thing. Well, this is what we're going to go over today. We're going to go introduction to medical astrology. I know it seems like, whoa, how can we do that already? We didn't even know who all the players are. But this is just an overview, But we're gonna get into some examples of how to look at a chart at the same time today. We're gonna talk about the Holy Grail, because it's always important to talk about that. And then we're gonna talk more about the luminaries in detail. We're not gonna talk about the Zodiac in detail, but we're gonna talk about the luminaries in detail. We already did 4 of them, right? We did both Marys, and we did Neptune and Ceres. Yeah, introduction to medical astrology. Is there any truth to medical astrology? 100% yes. Not only will we continue to prove this to you, we will also show you the breadcrumbs we left behind to once again rediscover this. Where is the medical caduceus? Where can we see this in ancient times? We'll be looking specifically at 3 points on this section of the dendra. The domain of Horus is number 1. You can see number 1, this is called the domain of Horus. Okay, we'll get into detail in a minute. Number 2, Gemini, the twins. The twinning of you. And then number 3, the snake in the box, your kundalini. This is the way they depicted your kundalini. So the domain of Horus is the winter solstice, the birth of the sun. I'm going to back this out a little bit. There's the domain of Horus right here, where you see Horus is depicted by a hawk, the all-seeing eye. Okay, when you see the hawk, it represents you've lifted the veil, you're starting to see, you're seeing the synchronicities, you're seeing things come together. That's what that means. That's what Horus is. So this is the domain of Horus. Birth of the sun, which is a special location depicting one whom is knowing, which is now you, because you are getting to know this. Notice the hawk, the all-seeing eye of Horus. This is now you. You see. You get it? Also notice the pointer, which points to the cross point, 0. You remember the circle of 60, which we'll be getting into more here, but the Metaphysical Bible people, they've seen us do the circle of 60. The 0 is right here at the bottom. That's the cross. There's 4 zeros on the circle of 60. This represents December 21st. I'm saying December 21st, but in reality, it's the winter solstice. This is where Jesus is born. This is where you come back in for a phoenix rising, knowing you already have got a knowing. So that was number 1. Now 2, Gemini, the twins. You will notice that the one with her feet together in blue is the divine feminine, the yin, the female aspect of you inside you, sitting in line with the domain of Horus. She hasn't moved from that line. It's very important. And the other one, the red one, is walking, moving, and manifest, is in line with the snake on the box. So you can see this is the female in you, and this is the male in you. One is always tethered to the other. That's what this means. That's what Gemini means. So not only is it the lungs, both sides of the brain, your limbs, what Gemini is, this is what they're telling you. This is the beautiful iconography that's here. In motion versus standing still. The snake on the box is your kundalini, the caduceus. So you see the 369, the secret to the universe, in the circle of 60. This is where medical astrology ties in. Aside, the midpoint of the box sits on the 6, which is the 18-degree alignment of the Great Pyramids. And if you know your golden ratios in 18s and 36 and 108, it's really important. Now, getting a little bit deeper, so you can see the sun is in the box. They don't show the sun there. The black snake, the one that doesn't spit poison, because they don't spit poisons, only one does. That'd be the conscious mind and the body. The reason why the body has to spit poisons is because the conscious mind did things that the body shouldn't have done. So you, the sun, is inside here. You're in the 3D, right? But it's not 3D. It's in and out. There's only 2 dimensions. Out is form. And of course, in form, you have boxes, you have diamonds, you have heptagrams, septagrams. There's millions of different dimensions, they call them. But no, that's just different shapes of forms. There's only 2 dimensions, in and out. So we've come into form, matter, material. And we're being guided. We have this other snake, the spiritual snake. The hat there displays it. Anyway, continue with the Kundalini, Ekade, Caduceus. Let's look at how that fits with astrology. We're having the following images, which are spin-offs from the Dendra Zodiac. We just talked about the snake in the box, left. Where is the other snake? It's in the material world, hence inside the box. The medical Caduceus is in the middle. You see, there's 2 snakes, right? One of them is the yang, the sun, the 7 colors that has to spit its poison when it's not vibrating right. And the other one is the tether, bringing us back. So there's a 0, the 1, and the 1. So, but the medical Caduceus is beautiful because we still hung on to the breadcrumbs, although we lost the true meaning until now as you learn the truth. Hygeia, if you look at Hygeia's symbol, what's her symbol? A Caduceus. That's why she's cleanses. When she's in your chart and she's there in aspects and you're feeling something and you see that, you bet that this is going to be at play. Kathy had Neptune retrograding back and forth over top of her natal Hygeia 3 years. As you can see, in 2020, came very close to Hygeia, and then Neptune crosses in 2021, back again in 2021, and back again cross in 2022, and now it's just rubbing up against. And as you can see, Hygeia wanted to come and join the party in 2024. I told her it's going to end, and it has. But now, although Neptune doesn't go on top of her anymore, it still comes back, right? So the wave's still there, but eventually it's going to go away. I'll talk about this another time, but Neptune's about to hit the cusp, Aquarius and Pisces. Neptune's going to start coming into Pisces. That means he's going after the Piscean people still, the ones that don't get it. It's time to clean up house. He just came out of Aquarius, and now he's going into Pisces. So all that energy is going to go to these people in the Piscean age, the ones that just aren't getting it yet. It's not about getting it. It's not a competition, but it's just pear, when it's ripe, it falls, right? There's a saying in Italian. That's all it is. So you can see the evolution of the Caduceus. But what is most important is the 369, which is the formation of the golden ratio, the triangles of manifesting a star, a pentagram. More on this later in the Circle of 60 section, right? So remember, the 369 sits here. When I first discovered and flipped the Dendra Zodiac and put the Circle of 60 and tried to make logic out of it, as soon as I seen that line up with that, it's like, bingo. Where else could you put the 369 on here? You couldn't. But then when you start looking at the guy with no head and Horus, the eye sitting over here, it fits. And whether we flip it around and head north, whatever, it still works. 100% works. Don't forget, you can look at a magnet from 2 sides. You can look at a field from 2 sides with the same thing, just how you orientate your vision. Okay, the consensus of which body parts are associated with a zodiac sign is very accurate. When I say accurate, the consensus is. A lot of times we go out in this world and try to learn something, and we go by what's consensus. Got a million books on this, it must be right. That doesn't mean it's right. When you start doing the medical astrology and it starts to fit and you can see things happening and it meets consensus, that's a beautiful thing. But the consensus is hanging on to the old guys like Nicholas Culpeper, Ptolemy. His name's the Greek guy there. His name's escaping me. But anyway, those guys knew, man. They knew, and now we're just reviving it. So to the right is Nicholas Culpeper, a famous astrologer, herbalist, outlining the Zodiac constellation and their physical effects. The luminary and the Zodiac detail section will detail more on the effects of the luminaries. So I won't go over these all, but I'm just going to say a couple. Aries, the head, face, and the eyes, right? Of course, it's Aries. And what's across from Aries? Well, that would be Libra, the kidneys, the loins, appendix, lumbar, vertebrae, and skin generally. Well, don't forget, Aries is opposite Libra, weighing of the heart. Where do we get challenged the most with weighing of the heart? With our head, what we think. If we can't, this is what we got to use to weigh the heart. So rightfully so, it's across. Taurus, the neck, the ears, the throat, the larynx, the tonsils. That's across from Scorpio, the organs of reproduction, bladder, gall, colon, and rectum. These are so important because if we're not using our body properly, the effects of these two come into play. Because Taurus, the bull, is the one that is the mother, the earthen mother that has sex with the Scorpio. The ones that like to play Chesterfield rugby. The woman's just holding on to the man, making him happy until we can finally get into revelation. That's all it's really about. So I won't go into the rest of them, but this is a really, really good consensus to start off with. I've found some other things that like aren't on this list that end up making sense that we'll share later. So here is a quick reference guide from the Culpeper list on the previous page. So basically it's what was there in Culpeper, just placed around the zodiac. This is not a perfect body lining up with that. It's more for just a general guide. So don't get hung up on that portion of it. But obviously you see the head is in Aries. The neck is in Taurus, right? Which includes the ears, the throat, the larynx, the tonsils. The lungs and the limbs is Gemini. Cancer is the stomach, breast, solar plexus, diaphragm, upper liver. I just did an upper and lower liver case. A friend, the upper liver, fit like a glove. The heart and the spine is Leo. That's important. The spine is there. Virgo intestines, alimentar canal, lower liver. So I won't go through them all. But of course, the kidneys, that's where the balance is, weighing of the heart, and all the way around. So this is a quick guide for you to go see. This is all in the book. Any questions so far? Okay, Benjamin. And I'm gonna.
So when we're looking at the first aspect, the domain of Horus, that is basically the IC, right? On the personal natal chart or in the chart that's now. That is the aspect. Okay.
Yes, 100%. You got that right. Yep. The IC is Imam Coeli. I looked at the definition. Doesn't matter. You know, it's because it's all Babel, right? They can hold keys though, so I'm not judging because of course some of those words hold some awesome keys. But yeah, that's the lowest point of spirit world, right? It's a gate. Anybody else got any questions? No? Okay, we'll continue on. The Holy Grail. The winged woman of the sky is in every culture. Mama, Ma, mother, pure love. It is she who always endures, rightfully so, as she is the one whom loves you. This is the Holy Grail. Everybody that's always talked about the Holy Grail, this is it. It's the winged woman. It's this event, this phoenix rising. Knowing this, you have now found the Holy Grail. So not only is she found, she is back. At the time of the writing of this book, there are 14 moons left until the Phoenix Rising. There's 12 left now, right? We just had that beautiful full moon on the 16th, the one pre-year anniversary on Easter, before the true Easter. Entering into the age of Aquarius while she enters our head, Aries. So both those happen. We enter age of Aquarius while she enters into our head. So in other words, it's enlightenment. How can somebody come into my head? It's not. It's the enlightenment portion of it. It's love. You're being surrounded by love. You're being induced by love. But it starts with the head, the weighing of the heart. And she's going to hang out with us for a while till we get it. So glad she is home. Any questions on that? Anybody want to volunteer to read? We're going to go through some luminaries and the description in the book. So I just want to volunteer to read that to the group. So take your time, read it slowly, try to digest it while you're saying it. Doesn't matter if you read it or not. This is not typical school. You don't have to go study first. You don't have to go learn. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we're learning as we go. I got somebody raise their hand to read the first one. Benjamin. All right, hang on a sec, Benjamin. Good man. Sorry, other than Aries, the next two luminaries we're going to talk about are very time important. Saturn representing is no such thing as time, and Pluto, the next slowest moving luminary next to Aries. So this is Pluto. And Benjamin, you could read that, please, in my babble words.
Pluto represents the deeper side of regeneration to spiritual, watching over how you create your manifestations, wants, the father figure watching over you while Iris is away. In medical astrology, has major physical, spiritual, regenerative qualities.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to bring this in. This is Pluto, Anubis. From all the research we did, that's who it is. Who's always by your side? Who's always making sure you do things the right way, always giving you lessons other than your mother? Especially if your mother's not around. Or wait till your father gets home, right? So he's holding your hand while the scribe is checking his list, right? See what you did. Was your heart as light as a feather? So this father figure is Pluto. So just when you see Pluto, just remember, it's regeneration. He's very, very slow moving. Many plagues, which are just cleanses, have happened when Pluto crosses a zodiac sign. Another reason why sidereal worked perfectly during the Black Death, because Eris and Pluto both change signs. We'll get into that another time. So if you look at the glyph of Pluto, looks like the drop of water coming out. You know, when the drop of water comes in, splashes, and one comes up, you've seen that beautiful picture. That's what that means to me. Kind of looks like a phoenix rising, support. Your father supports the mother. The cross is there, and it's just busting out a new you, butterfly leaving the cocoon. So that's what Pluto means. But don't forget, it's no person, it's no being, it's that energy that comes back to you, like we talked about before. There's no aliens, there's no, it's all energies, and they're beautiful. Oh, I need another volunteer. Who wants to volunteer for this one? We're going to talk Saturn. Marion.
Saturn, Father Time, represents half a circle on the wheel of 60, can mess with your time, will give the Groundhog Day feeling, reminder you are infinite. If you want to know how things work, ask Saturn for guidance. In medical astrology, watch for alignments with Ceres, a side event that happened today before preparing.
So the grackle shows up today. And he does his usual look up in the sky thing. I go look, and it's Saturn all the time. So I'm about to grab my staff and just go for a walk out by and see if I can see a gator or something. I don't know. No, there's always something that intervenes. Kathy always says, hey, why don't you go feed the birds over there? Because the grackel's probably hungry. So I went over there. I fed them. He played with me a little bit, came on the post. I started walking away. He jumped on. I wanted to see if he would let me stay, and then he jumped back. He's playing with my time. He kept me there. Then I moved. And here comes a guy walking down the street that I had to meet up with. Started talking with him. He's talking about cannabis because he's talking about his wife, COPD. Yeah, they got the medical card. They're eating this. Told them how to make the cannabis oil. All of a sudden, our generator tries to start to run. Kathy's knocking on the window. Hey, what do I do? What do I do? So I go inside, and it was an auto start thing. All this alignment, time stuff, that's what Saturn does. All right. And to think that the grackle lined that all up, it's freaking awesome. Marion, please tell us what happened with your finger.
So I'm involved in creating an underwater new installation at a gallery coincidentally named after the owner's mother, whose name is spelled exactly like mine, Marion, Marion, which is derived from Mary, by the way. Last name Royale, Royael, the Marion Royale Gallery, which happens to be right downstairs from where I live. Anyway, I just became friends with these marvelous people, and they've become like family now because I'm here in Beacon alone. I don't have any family around me. They're in London and New York City. Anyway, I'm helping them with an underwater installation, and minutes before I got a splinter in my finger, the main man of the gallery, Steve, was chatting away and explaining what he wanted. And I said, you know, you really are Neptune. You're there, you should have your trident and, you know, tell everybody what to be doing. And so he said, Marion, pass me that plank of wood. So I lifted up the wood, and as I passed it to him, this splinter went in my finger, and it was unbelievable. It was so painful. And I winced, but I didn't want to, you know, look like a baby, so I didn't complain. But I knew it had gone in really deep. And I carried on, and I couldn't attend to it because we were too busy. It got infected. And I called Claudio and I said, I haven't had an injury in ages. I got this really bad infection from a splinter. Can you look at my chart? And Claudio said, Neptune has given you an injection.
Right, but you never told me the Neptune part till tonight.
No. And then you said, by the way, what were you doing? And that's when I said, you won't believe this. I'm in creating an underwater installation. I've been painting a sea serpent and helping build a stage. And Steve, who I just called Neptune minutes before, asked me to pass him some wood that gave me the splinter. So Neptune gave me the injection. I mean, it was so precise. I nearly fell over when you sent that message back, Claudio, because it was like it had been written. It was written. And I persevered with this sea serpent because I felt that there was exactly what you were just saying. You persevered with the gecko because it was leading you. You went with it. And he kept insisting, you've got to paint the sea serpent. You're going to paint the face. And I said, I've never painted anything in my life. I can't draw. I can't. I draw stick people. No, you're going to do it. And I can't tell you, I persevered, and it took so much energy out of me. And I'm so happy that I did it because it was something I've never done in my whole life. And it gave me such joy and confidence and many things, but I persevered, and it's Neptune.
How's your finger?
It's healed. You told me in the message that it would heal by the 17th. It healed by the 17th. Yeah.
So this is what Neptune and Saturn just both showed up. This is the revelation, people. We get to see the reality. It's so beautiful. It's invigorating. And you sit there and question yourself. You go, what if somebody heard us? Like, who cares? It's going to happen to them too. No one's exempt. No one's exempt. It's all good. So, let me just check the chat real quick. Okay, it says, thanks, Susan. Thanks, Claudia. I have a Zoom. I need to attend now at 7. I look forward to the recording. Awesome. Benjamin said, I look at Marion. I see Mars on. What does that mean, Benjamin?
Just Marion, just Mars.
Oh, Mars on, Marion. I got you. Yep.
And then ion, the ion, the electricity of it being on instead of off.
Right. And then he said, lucky you have love in your heart. Could have been a worse experience. Awesome. And if I read something out that's being recorded and you don't want it there, just say, hey, can you take that off? I'm good too, because I want you guys to use that personally too, if you want to. But from now, if it's in for everybody, I'm just going to read them. If you want it not read, just say private, something, right? All right. Okay, moving right along. So I need another volunteer.
What have we got this time, Claudio?
All right. So next up is Neptune and Uranus. Besides Pluto, Neptune and Uranus, I'll get to you in 1 second. Besides Pluto, Neptune and Uranus make up the 3 of the 10 classic planets, which are not visible by the naked eye. The 7 visible are they go in this order by the order of speed. That's what all the ancients did, how fast they move. The moon, Mercury, Venus, the sun in the middle, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Those are the 7 that you can see. Then the ones that you can't see are Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus by the naked eye. But look at the black. You have to look at the black in your eye. That's the connection to spirit, because it's pure. Where you get to see what's happening outside, but you got to understand what the beauty is on the inside, the pure love. We'll get into this more later, but Chiron holds the key. You're going to see is the shape of the key. He has the key for you to see beyond what you can see. Lifting of the veil. So Chiron is the wounded healer and holds the key to cross that spiritual bridge into the planets and things that you cannot see. All right, so we're going to bring over Neptune. All right, Martin.
Good old Poseidon.
Yep.
Can you just zoom out slightly so we get the order of the orbs just once again, Claudio?
Okay, how's that?
Yes, yeah, perfect. So I just wanted to mention, obviously, this classical order is Ptolemy's Ptolemaic model. However, the Jews kind of describe the 10 concentric rings as well, and they place each one of these planetary bodies or luminaries, wandering stars, whatever we want to call them, inside one of these concentric rings. Now, today's pseudoscience, we in today's science we know the 10 spheres, or at least 7 of them. So moon represents the atmosphere, Mercury represents the stratosphere, Venus is the ozone layer, the sun is the mesosphere, Mars is the ionosphere, and therefore Marion has Mars twice in her name. So there's Mars, like Martin, Mars, and then Ion, Marion, Ion. So she's got Mars twice in her name because Mars represents the ionosphere. Then Jupiter is the thermosphere. Saturn is the exosphere. Then we have the firmament, which is where Uranus is situated, the crystalline sea, which is where Neptune is placed, and then Pluto is known as the empyrean, as Claudio Ptolemy describes it. Yep. So I just wanted to add that in, just to give a bit of kind of context to how this order is messed around with the heliocentric model. It's all been messed around by NASA. But so let's read on. Neptune provides great static, lightning energies in weather, both internal and external. Learn and know. Imagination is light. Get it? Tune in. Your Arahant. Arahant represents the crystalline sea.
Yeah,
In medical
it says get it, tune in, Arahant, because it represents.
Yes,
right.
I did actually realise that it was mentioned there as well, but I just wanted to kind of add that, yeah, Neptune is situated in the crystalline sea. In medical astrology, long cleansers, 5 degrees retrograde cycles crawling by 2 degrees at a time makes for long cleansers.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, no, it's good. It's all right to bring those things up. I mean, we can go in them in a later time, but it's okay to show that beautiful discussion that you just talked about. So we thank you for that. It's awesome. It's really good. So I mean, we've talked a lot about Neptune. Here's another interesting synchronicity for today. And one of my Facebook friends that I do his chart, he said, because he's been seeing all the posts and understands Roy the Lightning Guy. He bought somebody a World Guinness Book of Record, and the guy opened it up right to the page. He says, "Oh, look what I'd opened it up to." And it was of Roy the Lightning Guy. Okay, need another volunteer to read. Anyone? We're going to do Uranus next. Deborah, was that you? You want to read it?
Hi, all.
Hi, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Dave. And it's said hi yet to you guys.
Uranus is the windmill of life and brings in the good and keeps things moving. Think. Winds of change. The conscious mind represents that which fills the heavens, dome, firmament. To connect to the power of Uranus from Saturn, you must get the key from Chiron. Chiron holds key to cross this bridge to the metaphysical.
Thank you. Exactly. I've done a lot of weather stuff, outdoor weather stuff, and you can see Uranus big time and how much he moves the air, he, she, whatever you want to call it. Winds of change is very a good way to just think of Uranus. It's simple, but we want to start with the simple. When we do charts, we want to start with simple words. And as the more and more you learn astrology, if you want to tweak it, get a little more deeper, that's something for down the road. But again, we're trying to make this so that everybody can be part of these classes.
Could I just add in as well, Claudio, that the Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, these are generational changes. So their cycles are much larger than any of the others. Uranus's cycle is 84 years. Neptune's cycle is double that at 168 years. And then Pluto's is 286 years, I believe. So these are generational changes, so I can understand where winds of change come from. These planetary bodies are affecting kind of generations, you know, because their energies stay with us much longer.
Right, in a sign, right? So like I said, Neptune moving from Aquarius, where he's home, loading up his static electricity before he comes into Pisces. Like I said, with the Black Death, it's just a bunch of cleansing going on. And you don't realize what it is. And then you just want to leave, and you think there's something wrong, and you just come back and try again. But when you know what it is, you just ride the wave. Really that simple. But thank you. That's the right word to use. They're generational because they are slow moving luminaries. Awesome. And so obviously I got to get the that. Thanks, Deborah. You found that for me. I missed that. That. It's my fault. I got to take the.
Yeah, I was going to.
And the key. Chiron holds the key.
Yes.
Oh, there. Hey, maybe okay, perfect. I'll take it up from there and put it over here.
That's it.
That's my time holds key.
That's our recycling done for the day.
That's right. Any questions, anyone? Questions, anyone? We're just going through and just slowly going over each one of the luminaries and what their qualities are. They're always there in the book. And then we're having this discussion so you can see what kind of quality that energy brings in a natal chart.
So, Claudio, I have a question.
Okay.
So, in terms of medical astrology, obviously the signs have a direct association with our, say, body parts, our systems of body. The planets, or wandering stars as we call them, have a direct association with our chakra system. Moon, and they're in the exact same order in our body as they are in the octave above us. So as we went through the order of the orbs from Moon to Pluto, or at least in our physical body, Moon to the crown chakra, Saturn, they're in the same order from root chakra to crown chakra. Do these, Chiron, Eris, do these have any direct association with our physical bodies in the same way that these signs and planets do?
100%. Eris has got my legs in a stranglehold. I found it. It's the mother of all mothers. When your mother gets mad, you run, man. You run. I don't know about for us Italians, I'm not trying to put the borders up, but my mother, man, with that slipper and that wooden spoon. So yes, they do. Yes, they do. Chiron is there, like in your chart when it's supposed to be shared. It's almost like you're a lab rat. It's supposed to happen to you because you're part of the revelation to be sharing it with others, the magic, the revelation. So yes, they all play a part. Not every one of them plays a cleansing part like Mars does, the nodes, the sun, Hygeia, Neptune. Not all of them do, but Eris does. Oh yeah, that's why she's called the goddess of discord and strife in some religions. That's why some religions you see the Holy Grail. I should have went around, and I'm going to do that when we go back. I'm going to do that now. It's important. So, you asked that question probably because I miss doing that. It's awesome. So obviously Isis, when you're illuminated, they make her look beautiful. Not beautiful, but normal. Okay, then they go and they just in the sky, right? Persephone, Eris. This is roughly the shape that I saw in the clouds. And then I grabbed my app and pointed up, and Eris was behind. And I could see they're all winged women. Freya, she's riding her chariot. White buffalo calf woman, she's in the sky. You can see that for the Indians. Albarak, another winged woman. Now look at here, Ma Durga. She's holding stuff, man. Like she's holding stuff because she's going to kick butt. Obviously the Madonna, another in the sky. Why is the baby black and the mother black? Because they come from spirit world. It's right in front of our face and we don't see it. Miktakawatl, people get really not at ease, right? So they're saying this is what they put for their winged woman of the sky. I don't see any wings, but that's what they use. Ereshkigal, another winged woman. Kali, Wan Yin of the Chinese. You can see a bunch of arms there because far-reaching, right? Nobody is exempt from a cleanse of the portions of you that need to be cleansed. So yes, she definitely does. Neptune, we know that just looking at Roy, right? Looking at Roy getting hit by lightning bolts. See, his wife was standing next to him. I read some more today. His wife was standing next to him while he got hit by lightning. She walked away and she was totally fine. Why? It's meant for him. He was the grounds for that because his chart said, come here. The reason why I'm saying this is that walk with bravery. And oh my God, something's going to happen to me. No, walk with bravery. If you're full of love, you'll be fine. There'll be bumps, there'll be reminders, but it's not going to happen to you. Hope I answered your question, Martin.
Yes, thank you, Claudio.
Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, we're going to do a fun little exercise, a little focus exercise, all right? I need volunteers, and I'm hoping to get volunteers that haven't studied astrology to put their hand up. It's going to be simple. You know how you play that game, like match? You just got to match two things, right? That's what we're going to do here. All right? The crane's here. Babe, the crane's here. All right. Who wants to go first? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take an icon of one of the luminaries around. You're gonna match it and say what sign it's in and what house it's in. That's it. And then if you got any comments on what, if you want to add some more comments, Deborah, you're gonna go first? Okay. We're gonna give you the mother of all mothers. We'll put it right there on his third eye. What a cute baby. So this is the icon that you got to look for. And let's see if you can find that. And I'm even leaving it in the general area.
Sorry.
Put my glasses on. I thought it was over.
I'll zoom in a little more.
Okay, so Isis.
That's Mary, mother. This is Mother Mary, right? This is Mother Mary. This is the mother of all mothers.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So these are the luminaries, the wandering stars, what they call planets, dwarf planets, whatever babble the words that they use in NASA.
Yeah, well, I guess it's I always thought it was to the left, but I guess not. Is it right down the bottom right?
Yeah, right here. So she's right there. See her?
Okay.
So what sign is she in and what house?
Oh. Okay, well, so she is right on the cusp of Aries and Pluto.
Oh, right here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Pisces.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
That's perfect. Now, what house is she in?
Can't say I really studied all this.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, because you haven't seen them all. So to be fair, the zodiac signs here, the house system, which is fixed and never moves. See, these move.
Okay.
These move.
Okay.
We'll get into the direction in a minute again. So this is the house system, the gray bar.
Uh-huh.
So she's in which gray bar? There's numbers there.
The number 7. Oh, well,
Perfect.
Yeah, number 7.
Perfect. So that's for you.
Done, yeah.
So at this moment,
Uh-huh.
in this moment in time, this was at 6 p.m. before the meeting. I took this snapshot of what's happening in the sky. So Aries is about to set because the stars move this way. Let me grab this. The stars are moving this way. And the planets are moving that way very slowly. You can't really tell. So at 6 p.m., you can see she's about to set. So this is how you can look at it. If you want to say something to the Mother Mary when she's about to set for the night before you go to sleep, hey, see you in my dreams, right? So, and at that time, if you want to talk about something, it's weighing of the heart because she's about to set. This is really Libra. The house 7 is Libra, weighing of the heart. Well, you'll get to know that later. So I'm just doing this exercise to understand which the luminary is, learning how to see what sign it's in and what house it's in. That's all. That's all this exercise is about. Just a little focus exercise. All right. And then obviously we all know that she's in Aries. Okay, basically the cusp, but she's a little bit into Aries. She's coming a little bit deeper into our head again to clear our crown chakra, to allow us to become more pure so we can start to see. And obviously we're starting to see. Marion gave a great example. The Grackle gave us a great example. They're allowing us to start to see the beauty and the magic that's unfolding, that's going to make this wonderful place for us to live in harmony together. All right. Who wants to go next? Any volunteers?
Quick question on that,
Oh, yes.
Claudio.
Please.
With how would you correlate that with your natal chart with, say, Aries or Eris, Isis was in somewhere else in the chart? I mean, how would you correlate the two? Like to make it more personal, where that's aspects
okay.
in
Sure.
Aries.
So she obviously goes around the chart in 558 years. All of us in this room have Eris in Pisces. It's, let's call it 6 months direct, 6 months retrograde. It's not that exact, but it's around that. So some of us have it per direct, some of that retrograde. Some of us got more lessons with mama, and some of us got less lessons with mama. Right? So Eris being in Pisces is end cycle. Eris in Aries is new beginnings. It's Pisces end cycle, new beginning. Obviously, Aries, it starts with the head again, your thought process. So you'll only find her in Pisces and Aries right now. And soon you won't, now in the natal chart, you're going to find them only in Pisces until recently, 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, when she started coming into Aries, some kids are being born with her in Aries. I can imagine those kids are going to be pretty sharp. It's going to be interesting to watch these newborns that have been born into, with Eris and Aries. Does that answer your question?
Perfect.
So my grandson was born February 2nd, right? So he was born.
He was born, he would be, is it back in Aries yet? I'd have to check. Was that this year?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this year.
Okay. Does somebody want to look at that while we're going on? And then next break, we'll have a look. February 2nd of this year. Can you do that, Martin?
I can do, but I use the tropical system.
You got both.
No, I'll do that. I'll do that right now. I'll do it sidereally as well. Lahiri system. I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me 3 minutes.
Okay. Who wants to do one?
I would love to go, Claudio.
Okay, Benjamin. All right. Let's see. What do we want to pick? Let's pick. Let's go. Let's go Venus. Can you spot Venus?
Yes, it's in Aquarius in house 6.
Awesome.
And I'm just thinking Aquarius. I mean, the water or the air. Venus is me. Oh man. And house 6, that would man, Libra. What is that? Is that Cancer?
No, Virgo.
Virgo.
Right.
So
you can use those words, you can piece them all together, you make a sentence, right?
yeah.
Yeah. We won't do that now for time's sake, but that's exactly what you would do. Perfect. And now Venus represents Mother Nature. She loves all the animals as the mother loves all us. That's the relationship. That's why you can see the glyphs between Venus and Eris are the same, except Eris has got an arrow on the bottom, the point going inwards, the point going to pure love, the point going to the point towards the middle. Venus is the Ankh, the symbol of the Ankh that the Egyptians carry, representative of all life.
So Claudio, if you're tying this into medical astrology, this would be involving like Mother Nature might heal you a little more with your intestines. Am I reading that right? Your intestines, your lower liver, those kind of aspects.
Usually Venus doesn't do anything like that because she's loving. See, Mars is redshifted, right? So the redshift is the one that causes you more. See, Venus comes more, if you can call it medical astrology, I guess. It'd be relationships with either your own internal, masculine, feminine, or external. Whether it's woman and woman, two people having it out, whatever, that is what happens. There is conflict. You'll definitely see conflict with when Venus and Mars are together in a chart. And that's consensus, but I know it cold. I can read it like a clock, personally.
So I'm just to be a little clear for my mind here. So I'm thinking the house or the constellation, which one would be more involved with the description of your anatomy? Would it be like Venus being in
Both.
Aquarius?
No, they both are. They both are. When you go do medical, go ahead, sorry.
So both aspect of the house and the constellation of what that's
Yes.
light.
What I'm
is
finding
in.
is that the houses represent deeper, Ozis, karma. Okay, because my legs
House,
is a Gemini thing, but it's house 3. I've got Cancer there, but it's a house 3. So that's a long, long process. And the link is with a star and with Eris. So it's long. It's a long wave I got to ride for my legs. Right. And I've always had dreams that I can't pedal a bike. And now I'm going for rides here, trying to get my physical back. And the wind, the wind is nailing me just like my dreams, and I can barely pedal. I'm going, I don't care. I'm going. I get it now. So it's pretty wild. It's invigorating. It's invigorating to see the beauty of us being cleansed of our ways. And it's all beautiful. It's just like, no, you gotta go write 100 lines on the chalkboard. Yeah, so you got it right. The Venus aspect of Aquarius is etheric, so more spiritual, right? It's going to be baptismal, forgiveness, right? And then it's going to be related to Virgo, virginity, purity. Are you pure? So something happens with Mars there, it's going to be related to those sentences. You can call it medical because it's going to be mental medical in that aspect associated with it. Get it? Right. It'll manifest that way. And for people that are new to this, don't worry if it's not sitting well with you. It's just as you hear it more and more and come up with examples and do your own, say, hey, step me through my chart. Let's do this. I'd like to see. You'll see it. It's no different than getting you got a new neighbor moving in next door. Got to figure them out. That's what you're doing right now. These are your neighbors. But they're the energies you left behind, your neighbors. That's why that neighbor moved next to you, because there's an energy you left behind. You guys are supposed to do something together. Vibe, not vibe, cleanse each other, or just build with each other. It depends where it's at, where we're at in our journey. If somebody moves next door and it's not good, well, that means something we got to fix.
Claudio.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I just need to get from Deborah again the year that the child was born, because I didn't get that part.
This year, right, Deborah?
Right.
This year. Okay.
It's really simple stuff. All you got to do is look for an image.
I can go.
Who's that? Is that Carlos? All right. We're going to give Carlos Neptune. And here is Neptune's glyph. The trident, the lightning bolt. How do you like that, eh?
Yeah, it's on the cusp of Pisces and Aquarius in the 6th house.
Perfect. We've already talked about it, but as you can see, Neptune is moving into Pisces. And it's going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, doing the work hardening, just like Aries is doing. Recharging, coming here, charging up the Pisceans, whatever aspects you have in Pisces. If you've got something here in Pisces at this cusp, then you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it over and over. It's what's happening to me, what's happening to me, what's happening to me. It's simple but beautiful. If you are okay then you will feel much less. The more we get it and the more we face everything with love and knowledge and knowing, the better off we're going to be. There's a reason why it's the trident. Doesn't that look like a lightning bolt? A whole bunch of them coming down? It's facing up, but Neptune is energy, static electricity, lightning. Thank you, Carlos. Who wants to go next?
Claudia, could I just mention something really important as well for people?
Yes, absolutely.
So, a good place to start with astrology is to know where all of the planets live, because they have what's known as domiciles. The classics called it, their domicile, their home. So, for instance, the Sun lives in Leo. So, if the Sun wants to be at home, he would go to Leo. That's where the Sun lives. And next to Leo we have Cancer, and that's where the Moon lives. Yep. Then opposite both sides of those we have Gemini on one side, and then to the right of Leo we have Virgo. Those are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury live in those two signs. One's a diurnal sign and the other one's a nocturnal sign. Each of the planets, not accounting the Sun or the Moon, these are known as the greater luminary and the lesser luminary. The greater luminary being the Sun, and the lesser luminary being the Moon. They live in one house. However, the rest of the planets, they have two domiciles. They have a diurnal domicile, which is their day sign, and then they have a nocturnal, a night sign. So Mercury lives in Gemini and Virgo. Then we have, to the right and left of those two signs, we have Taurus and Libra. These are both ruled by Venus. So Venus during the day lives in Taurus, and its nocturnal sign is Libra. Then to the right and left of those we have Mars, my fault. Mars, we have Aries and Scorpio. So Aries being the diurnal sign for Mars, and Scorpio being the nocturnal sign for Mars. And then to the right of that and left of that we have Jupiter. That's Pisces and Sagittarius. Yep. Then we have Saturn. Saturn rules both nighttime signs, Aquarius and Capricorn. So what this means is that wherever you find the planet in your natal chart, you can place that planet where it lives, but then reference that place where it lives to where it is on the chart at that moment in time, to know whether that planet is in detriment. Whether it's in its detriment. When it's in its detriment, it's the furthest away it can be from the sign in which it lives. So the Sun is in detriment when it's in opposite Leo, which is Aquarius. The Sun's in detriment there. So what this means is that the power of the Sun, if it's in its domicile, if it's in Leo, you're getting the best energy from that Sun. However, if in your chart the Sun is in Aquarius, it's known to be in its detriment, because it's the furthest away from its home. Therefore, its power is diminished because its power is full in Leo, where it lives. So having an idea of how this the mechanics of this works gives you more of an understanding as to whether the energies that the planets are giving you in reference to where they are on your chart, whether they are good or bad, or full or diminished, let's say. And then there's also exaltation. So we'll just keep this one simple, and I'll let everybody go away and look at the exaltations for each of the signs, but we'll keep it simple with the Sun. The Sun exalts in Aries and it falls in its opposite sign Libra, which makes sense because Aries is situated on the clock at 6 a.m. in the morning, and that's where we see the sun fire up and give us our morning, you know. But then at 6 p.m. opposite on the opposite side of the clock, the sun is falling in Libra. But guess who exalts in Libra? Jesus's archenemy, Satan. Saturn exalts in Libra because Saturn rules the nighttime and the sun rules the daytime. So that in Egypt there was always this fight between Horus and Set. Horus pinching time from Set and Set pinching time from Horus. So the exaltations are very important as well, because these give you another aspect of whether they are in what's known as fall or exaltation, and it's exactly the same as domicile and detriment. But they're, you know, like different systems and different cultures had their different ways of using these. So the classical astrology, it used the exaltations as more power than the domiciles. But in modern astrology, you know, we kind of use the domiciles as you know, more powerful than the exaltations. But obviously that's up for debate. And yeah, I just thought, Claudio, that's a really important aspect of being able to give quality to the planet, you know, before you look at how it is affecting where it is on the chart.
Yeah, I understand it. I understand it. We'll get into it at a later time when we can just throw something in front. But right now, I'm just trying to get everybody used to what they are and what they mean, right? Because some people are beginners, and I just don't want to throw too much at them, right, brother? I mean, you know it very well.
Of course.
I mean, it's all told me stuff, and then Santos, he repeated it as well. It's all beautiful stuff. And so basically, what Martin is saying is that there's consensus that certain planets have a home and they can have more qualities there, right? So, you know, their vibrations will be strengthened here versus not over there. And that all can come into play. We're not going to go there at the beginning, because all we want to do is just get you used to what each planet's signs are. Right now with the medical astrology we haven't had to do that. Not to say that it's not there. We just haven't had to do that. It may work out and it's the same way, not sure. But right now we haven't had to use it. But I agree with you. I mean, the Ptolemies had it, so it's probably something very, very important. I understand it. I learned it. I got diagrams of it. I got all kinds of stuff on it. And right now, I just want to stick to the basics so that get people to learn. So, but I appreciate that.
Of course.
So when we start,
and Claudia, can we have a drum roll?
When we start getting,
can we have a drum roll for Deborah? Can we have a drum roll for Deborah? We have her Aries placement.
Oh, cool. Let's do it.
So, Aries is actually positioned at 0 degrees 14 minutes. Which sign, Claudia?
Aries.
It has to be Aries. It has to be Aries. Yes, so so the children being born right now, they're being born with Eris in Aries. So this retrograde.
Only. Not everybody. She's
I would like to understand that a bit more.
She's going in and out, further and further and deeper and deeper, and is until in 2024 she just brushes back in and comes back out. And that's the last time she stays in Pisces. But I still think that NASA's shift of all the planets are off by a half a degree or so. But that's for another whole other discussion. Because I don't stop with just taking anything for as consensus that it means it works. If I would have done that, I wouldn't have got where we're at.
So just one more thing as well, just regarding retrograde, Claudio. Retrograde isn't, you know, the planet or the body of light actually moving forwards and then moving backwards and then moving forwards and then moving backwards. What's actually happening? Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm saying for everybody else. I know you understand that.
Yeah. I get all that. It's just a really, really simple way to get people to understand what's happening, because we don't want to get into math and projections and all the different models. No, I get you, brother. No, I totally understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
We just can't. We want to hold the audience, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okie dokie. You are a wealth of knowledge, brother. You studied Santos very well. It told me and everybody else you studied. So it's a beautiful thing. All right. So we've got 10 minutes left. Who wants to go? Who wants to take a whack at it? Anybody? Let's take a walk around. This is what's happening today, right? Oh, look at Saturn. Where's Saturn? Saturn's about to come into Aquarius. Father Time. Father Time is about to come into. I didn't check to see if he goes retrograde before or how close he gets before he comes in, or if he comes in. I just didn't check. But when Saturn comes into Aquarius, you're going to expect some good things. This is where we're going, Age of Aquarius. Who's there right now? Juno, Mars, Venus, of course, Neptune going in and out. Chiron's the wounded healer, where all us Pisceans are, cleansing. The mother we talked about. Pallas, communities are her domain. Winds of Change is in Aries. It's been here for a long time. Like you said, it's generational, right? It's been going in and out, retrograde, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Mercury's a fast-moving planet. It's about to come out. Now, the node moves this way. It moves opposite. It follows the stars because it's the ecliptic. We have the Lilith temptations in Taurus, the earthen mother. Watch for those temptations from those earthen mothers. But Ceres is there over those earthen mothers. She's been there for a while. Making sure those earthen mothers get signs, right? To be good. Black moon in Gemini. Black moon gives deep spiritual signs. Let's keep going around. The ascendants in Virgo. So at this time, Virgo was rising. You can use all these for saying your manifestations because these are energies. If you want to say, who should I talk to today? It doesn't usually do that. I don't do it that way. But when you get a sign, you go look and you see and you say, okay, this one's rising, this one's falling, this is at the midheaven, this is at the IC. That could be a great way to start. And look who's in Libra. Who's this? Anybody want to take a gab? Who's that one? We just talked about it today. Hygeia, the caduceus, the goddess of cleanses. And where's she at? Libra, weighing of the heart. She's in retrograde right now. That's affected Kathy because Neptune being over top of Hygeia, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Think about that. That's being amplified. She lost over 40, 50 pounds. That cleanse is being amplified in her natal chart. Because at the bottom of her chart, right near the IC, she has Hygeia and transiting Neptune going across. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Cleansing her ass. I mean, wow, did she go through quite the cleanse? But she was okay with it because she knew what it was. There was a reason. The South Node is in Libra. Moon's in Scorpio. Ruh-roh. You can think of the moon as a mother's watchful eye. She's keeping an eye on you. The IC is in Sagittarius. This is just chart of the moon because this spins, right? This is just the chart of the moment. It's this move. Like in an hour, they'd all be in a different house system, but in this rough same location in the zodiac. Okay, I had one more thing to go over, but I won't go over. I'll save it for next week. Just about some beautiful stuff that's in the Vatican. Any questions before we wrap up? So just wanted to give you a little flavor of looking at a chart. Just, okay, I got to see where the luminaries are. I got to see what zodiac sign they're in. I learned where the houses are at. And the houses have the exact same quality as the zodiac. House 1 is Aries. House 2 is Taurus. You don't have to learn anything more. People start saying money, house, relationships. Don't learn that right now. It's too confusing. Really. When you get to know the zodiac signs, you will have a general but 90% accurate description with just those words that are there. Because it meets consensus, and it meets experience, and it meets guidance. And hi, Jonathan. Martin did tell us that you are a little under the weather.
Yes, that is correct.
Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing okay. Did you find it in your chart?
I haven't looked the chart up yet.
Okay.
I don't even have the energy for it. I have the
got you.
energy
It's
to
okay.
listen.
Well, you know it's there, so just know it's a wave and it's going to go away and whatever, right?
I have enough energy to listen. So
That's
that's what
good.
I've been doing.
Well, we're very honored that you came and spent your little bit of energy that you got with us.
Yeah. I'm the most welcome, actually. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, if there's no questions, we'll just give each other a hug and move right along. Take her easy. See y'all next week.
Thank
you,
Take care. Thank you very much.
Watch out.
Thank you,
All right.
Claudio.
Bye-bye now.
See you soon.
Watch
Bye
those
now.
singers, Marion. Can't wait to see that that dragon. Oh, one thing I wanted to say to you. Did
Oh.
you notice the tongue look like a phoenix
Yes.
in that picture? That was so
Yeah.
cool because that's the phoenix rising, the flames. Was that intentional to make the tongue look that way,
No.
or just, oh, wow.
Not at all. Not at all.
Awesome.
Not at all.
Very good.
Speak
Can't wait to
with
see that.
forked tongue.
Does that blow up?
Same time.
Does that blow up or just
What?
that dragon? Does he
It
blow
is-
up?
It is a metal installation. It is about 20
Oh.
feet long.
Oh,
It's metal. It was an installation that was out. It's outside, and I said that looks like a sea serpent, so I painted it to look like a sea serpent, and
got
then
it.
I painted the face. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a good one.